Here I have several different types of zipper. These are not every type available. There are so many different types of zipper, but these are probably the most common. So here I've got one which has metal teeth. This one here is plastic molded teeth. This is a nylon coil, and this is a nylon invisible. One thing they do all have in common is the tape is generally some version of polyester or PET. In the case of YKK, their zipper tape is now all manufactured from recycled PET. This is a metal teeth zip. They are a very strong zip, so they're used in leatherworking and bag making and on heavy duty clothing like denim pants and jackets. They generally need to be purchased in the length that you require because they're very hard to snip through because of those metal teeth, and then to remove those teeth to sew them in to not break a needle, but it can be done. The zipper tape is generally manufactured to be one directional, which means that the zipper head slider can only go on one way. You can't have other slider on it going in the opposite direction to make bidirectional zippers. They need to be specifically manufactured for that. So this is a single direction metal teeth zipper. This here is a plastic molded teeth zip, which is also a very strong zip. They're a chunky zipper suitable for bag making and heavier duty clothing. Once again, you do need to purchase them pretty much in the length that you require because those chunky teeth make it hard to snip through, but you can break them off and shorten them if required. It's just not fun again to do. These are a bidirectional zip because the zipper head can go on either way and they will still do up to make multi-directional zippers. This is a nylon coil zip. So these are your most common zips. This is a dress zip, but they do come in many different sizes to be able to be used in many different forms of sewing, from dressmaking through to bag making. The coil is multi-directional, so you can have zipper heads going in opposite directions or into each other. They are also extremely easy to cut to size and sew through, and you just sew them into a seam and you're done. So they're very versatile. This is an invisible zip. These are designed to be sewn in with a very specific foot, which allows you to get that zipper tape right into the seams to make them invisible on the outside of the garment, and all you'll see is that pull. Once again, very easy to resize. You just cut them to size and you're done. These are all standard closed end zips. There's one stop at the bottom of each zip. These ones have a metal stopper of some type that has been installed in the factory. This one has just been glued. And they all have top stops, which are once again either pieces of metal or even sometimes plastic at the top of the zipper. And those stops stop the zipper pull from coming off the end of the zipper. And the length is usually measured from the bottom stop to the top of where the zipper pull stops. This is a double slide zipper. These sliders are arranged head to head so that you can open the zipper in both directions, which is especially handy on a bag. And sometimes on clothing, you'll see them going the opposite direction, so you can open a jacket down the center and have it open at the bottom. These ones have been manufactured with a stop at each end to stop the sliders from coming off, and the size of the zipper is the length between the two stops. These are open-ended zippers. You'll generally see these on jackets and other clothing where you need to open the zipper up completely to separate it to get in and out of your clothes. There's also a few bag making patterns that use these. They have this little box on the bottom on one side and a pin on the other, and you insert the pin back into the box to close the zipper back up. These two here have nylon teeth, so they're quite easy to resize, but this one has the plastic molded teeth. Can be resized, but a bit trickier because you've actually got to break the teeth off to make it neat to sew back into the garment or the bag. This one here has been cut off. I've cut it off from the top end to shorten it because generally these boxes are installed in the factory and cannot be removed or replaced. There are some zipper repair kits on the market that claim to be able to do this, but I've not personally tried them, so I'm not sure how successful you'd be with them. These are both continuous lengths of zipper, which just means it's one long piece of zipper which has no pulls attached at all. This one has been manufactured to have tail at each end for ease of slipping the pulls on, but they can also just come cut straight off the roll like that, or once you resize that, you're going to have the cut length like that. This gives you a greater flexibility in the length of your zip because you can measure, install a pull and make whichever size zip you need. So you can make a really short one, you can make one that's the whole length. Just depending on your application, it gives you greater flexibility. Zippers come in many different sizes. This here is a size 3 dressmaking zip, and this is a size 5 bag making zip. But you can get bigger zips and smaller zips. The size generally refers to the size of the teeth, but the tape also is a different width depending on the size of the zipper. The easiest way to tell the size is, if you're very lucky, it is stamped on the bottom of the pull. This one has a 3. This one actually has it on the inside just here. It's a 5. This one also has it on the front there, and it has a 4-5, which I know stands for 4.5. But if they don't have a pull, you kind of have to make an educated guess and hope for the best. So this is the dressmaking zip. It is 1 inch across approximately, or 25 mil. And the teeth are approximately 3 mil between the stitching lines on each side. This is a size 5. So the tape is 1 1/4 inches wide, approximately 32 mil. The teeth are about 5 mil on either side of the stitching line. This is a 4.5. Once again, the teeth, this tape is a smidge over 1 1/4 inches, and the teeth are somewhere between 4 and 5 mil across. The importance of the size comes into play when you are trying to find replacement pulls, because as you can see, the pulls are very different. Even just with between a 4.5 and a 5, you are never going to get that size 5 pull. It will go on there, but it will be way too big, and that size 4.5 pull is way too small to get on those teeth. Even the 4.5 compared to a 3 is still quite a difference. You're not going to be able to interchange those pulls. They just won't work. So generally, if you are trying to buy your tape separately to your pull, you need to match the width, the style of zipper, and sometimes even the brand. If you're looking to buy your zipper sliders separate to your tape, there's a couple of things you need to take into account. 1, what type of zipper are you buying for? Nylon tape is different to metal tape, is different to molded teeth tape. The zippers are not interchangeable. The next item is size. I use size 5 is different to a 4.5, is different to a 3. In some cases, you may even have to try and find the brand. Sometimes the pulls for one brand will not fit on another brand's tape because there's just slight variances in the tolerances. The other thing you need to take into account is, do I need a locking slide or a non-locking slide? These pulls are all for nylon coil tape, but these are locking pulls and these are non-locking pulls. It's easiest to see the locking mechanism in a size 5. If you look down there, you can see that little spring that moves when I move the pull, and you can see it just down there when I move the pull, that little piece of metal moves out of the way. So that's the locking mechanism. These both have it. And that is essentially designed so that as you're wearing a zippered garment, it doesn't slide down and you don't fall out of your clothes. This is the bag making zip by comparison, and as you can see, it's got nothing in there, there's nothing extra down there. It just is designed to really easily be able to be pulled and opened so you can easily access what is inside your bag. Just to illustrate the difference between a locking and a non-locking pull more accurately, you can see that that is a non-locking pull. I'm pulling on that tape and the zipper is opening. This is the non-locking. I'm pulling on the tape and that zipper is not going anywhere. I have to pull on the zipper pull itself to disengage the lock. I'm often asked how easy it is to install your zipper slider onto your continuous tape. There are a variety of tools available to help you do this, but if you don't have one available, it is relatively easy to do. So the thing you need to keep in mind is there is a front of a zipper with this little bar and a back of the zipper, which is open. It is easier to go on from the front than it is to go on from the back. So I always try to do that. If you've got tape that's been finished like that, it can be a quick bit easier because there's no teeth to get in the way. You can simply slide the pull on like that, and you've got something to hold on to while you pull through. If you have got a piece that's cut, it can be a bit trickier. So if you see here, there's just this little bit that protrudes like that on each side. I use that as my guide. So I put the first side in and I put the other side in, and I'm trying to just get the tape even with that guide. And then you can just kind of push the bottom of the pull and slide it on. Sometimes if you're new at this, it can be easier to have a friend maybe help you so that one of you is holding the tape and the other one is doing the slide. I might point out these are also non-locking slides, which are a lot easier, because if you're going to try a locking slide, you have to get the lock out of the way so that you can put it on. So you're trying to jiggle, getting that on while pulling that down, while pulling it all on. So that is why getting a dress zipper on is always going to be harder than that. I might need to get a friend to help with this one because it's, nope, there we go, I got it. Because you need to pull on that to allow the zipper to move. So they are a bit trickier. But what if you've lost your zipper pull and you're trying to replace it, you have a stop, so you can't go on front ways, you have to come on from the back. If I just open the front of the zipper up just a little bit, like I've literally only done the first couple of teeth, and then we're going to slide this pull on from the back. Hopefully it's not going to push those back together, because you need those first couple of parts so that you can pull it down, and then you can easily go on. And you can also use this method to make double slide zips. So now I can have another zipper pull come on at the front ways, line it up and push it on, and now I've got a double slide zip.